Most days, commercial photographer Dina Goldstein points her camera lens at business moguls, celebrities, and new products. Recently, she decided to pursue her fantasy fairy tale side, which is showcased in her first ever art exhibition at Vancouver's Bush and Mowat Gallery. Her show is called Fallen Princesses. It is my pleasure to welcome Dina Goldstein, Studio 4, to tell us more. Hi, Princess.
Hi.
Well, what a great concept.
Thank you.
When did it begin? How did it begin?
Well, I started to shoot about a year and a half ago, and I came up with the idea when two events in my life correlated. My mother was sick, diagnosed with breast cancer, and my daughter, who was 3 at the time, was starting to really get into Disney and Disney princesses, and her friends, they'd all dress up, and the two events kind of correlated. I started to think about what would happen to the princesses after the story.
I see.
Without the happily ever after.
If life wasn't perfect, if
That's
the shoe
right.
didn't fit,
That's right.
if the prince didn't arrive, if Sleeping Beauty got fat.
That's right.
I don't know, but there's many things to think about. Did you grow up, you were born in Israel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you grow up with fairy tales?
No, when I was growing up in Israel, I wasn't exposed to fairy tales. Now, of course, the kids there are. Mm-hmm. But when I was growing up, I don't recall having it in my life. And then we immigrated here in 1976. I was 8 years old, and I spent a lot of my time trying to integrate into society. So I wasn't influenced by the Disney era, or I didn't go through that phase at all. So I'm almost re-experiencing it, just experiencing it for the first time with my daughter now.
How great.
Yeah.
Back to the future, back to the childhood. Some of the great ones, Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella. Let's look at Cinderella.
Okay.
Where is she? Oh, I see.
There she is.
She's all dressed up. Stopped sweeping the floor by now. Looks like she's in the bar.
She is. She's having a rough time. I mean, for each image, I imagine what if. I created a what if scenario. So what if she just had
hitchhiking there?
She's hitchhiking. What if she had? What if the princess walked out on her, or she found out that he has a few other princesses on his in his schedule for that week? So,
or the pumpkin was blown up by a terrorist.
but what if she just felt really down and out, and she ended up in a bar and had a few too many drinks?
I see. So how did you put these together? Did you have to call Disney #1 or
No,
Mr. Grimm's? Or
No, I didn't. I just basically with a very low budget and with a strong will, I gathered people who would help me out. I found the princesses in various places around town. I used Craigslist, and I compiled the images and kind of made my sketches come to life.
well, is that Little Red Riding Hood?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Well, she's plumped up. She ate the big bad wolf, didn't she?
She's not so Little Red Riding Hood.
She's not so little.
And
another issue women deal with
Yes.
every day, weight.
Yes, weight. And that's what I'm touching upon. I'm touching upon issues and challenges that women today face. With this one, there's been quite a bit of controversy because of the pairing up of obesity with the fast food that is in the photo. But really what I wanted to speak of too was the challenge of this is a fast food society, and having time to actually go home and cook and prepare meals. Everything is just so convenience oriented.
And great art provokes debate. It should. Or at
And
least
it has.
a feeling. And it has. Is there one that's more controversial than others? The Little Red Riding Hood or?
Little Red Riding Hood, and I don't know if you have, but the Jasmine.
Jasmine at War, yes.
Yeah.
Women on the front line today.
That's right.
So?
Basically, she's a soldier. She's fighting for her country, whichever country that is. With Americans on on certain blogs. I've had a few mixed messages that perhaps they think that I've made her into a terrorist, which of course that wasn't my intention at all. But what I'm speaking to here is the fact that women are on the front lines today.
Yes, females are soldiers as well throughout the ages. Some have been, certainly in Israel. But as you know, in North America, not so much now. But
now, very much so.
Certainly not in the First World Wars.
No.
Nurses on the front lines, but not in battle.
No, not
a
in
woman
battle.
going to battle, never.
It's
So
happening.
now that's Sleeping Beauty. She's really sleeping. She's in the I'm a Goner home, the retirement home.
The retirement home, and my mother actually works there, so I got to go in, and I know some of the folks there. And
So your mother's fine, surviving breast
my
cancer?
mother survived. She was very, very lucky because they caught it early.
Excellent.
And she didn't have to go through chemo, so with a bit of radiation and some medication, she's doing great.
Fabulous.
But it's a shock when cancer touches your life. And it's always been a sore spot with me. A good friend of mine, her mother passed away when we were in high school from cancer, and so that's always been almost a fear. And I don't know if you have the Rapunzel, but the Rapunzel is also inspired by
Yes,
that.
and Rapunzel has lost her hair.
That's right, and she's
Yes.
sick.
I don't. Well, I guess we know it was Rapunzel because of the length of the braid. So pretty much, are they titled Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, so that if you can't figure it out, you know, everybody isn't an artist genius, so you're looking, think, who's that?
Well, I think they're pretty obvious. I didn't include elements of the actual Disney story. They're just the characters. The characters are symbols used to relay a scenario. Or
Sure. But did you get calls from Disney? Not at all? I'm surprised.
No.
I would think they'd say, now, just a second. That's ours. That's Snow White. Oh, I love her.
But you
With
remember
the gritty kids.
That's right. There she is in domestic hell in suburbia with lots of kids, no help, and a lazy prince.
Beer drinking husband, or maybe not. Lazy prince, gritty kids, grubby kids, crying kids.
That's right. Yeah, lots of kids. Lots on her mind.
And we saw one other. What was the one after that?
That was Belle, and Belle is maintaining her beauty.
Oh, she's having a little.
Yeah, it's
Botox.
Beauty in the original story, Beauty and the Beast, and here I imagine her having to maintain that image, that the necessity to stay young.
Well, you know, a
and that-
dermatologist with a sense of humor, or a plastic surgeon with a sense of humor should buy that. And hang it on
Definitely.
the wall in the office.
Definitely.
Don't you think?
I think that it would be an interesting piece for
Exactly.
a surgeon.
So when you're not doing this and exploring your hugely artistic side, you take pictures of golfers. Richard Zokol for BC Biz magazine.
Yes, I photograph a lot for magazines throughout Canada and the States, and I get to meet all sorts of interesting people, and I love it.
Vicky Gabbro, my pal.
We did that. One of the pictures that I took of her was on the roof of CBC.
That was a while ago. When she was working at the CBC?
Yeah, that was a while
Oh my,
ago.
she'll love that. I bet she has it. Schweitz's Deli in Montreal.
Well, I love to travel and I love to photograph wherever I go. So I started out as a journalist, as a photojournalist, and my love for that candid type of photography, I mean, that's my first love.
Yes, and you got me once. We had so much
Yep.
fun on that shoot, remember?
That was a great
It was a
shoot.
cold, cold day, and I had on the fake fur coat.
The rat.
The rat. It was because it was supposed to be a dark and gloomy.
That's right.
The article, as I recall, was about the worst year in your life.
That's
So
right.
all of us were looking very dark and gloomy.
That's right. It had a bit of a sad tone to it.
It did, but we lived to tell the story.
Yes, and you look fabulous.
Thank you. Nice
Thank
to
you.
see you.
Thank you. Nice to see you too.
How long's the show on?
It's on for a month.
I should have
for
that here until November 15th.
Bushland Moa Gallery, October 15th to November 15th.
Great. Thank you.
Come down and see it.
I will, for sure. Thank
right.
you. Dina Goldstein, photographer, artist. Tomorrow, Michael Feinstein, 5-time Grammy-nominated entertainer, ambassador of the Great American Songbook, and one of the foremost experts on George Gershwin's music, comes in with his Sinatra project. He sings and he plays the piano too. And the soaring loonie, low interest rates, real estate, stocks, bonds, commodities are his bag. Financial analyst Michael Levy comes in for a recession or not recession update. And we meet an expert on children's environmental health, a leading researcher on envirotoxins, the toll they take on our kids. Thanks for watching Studio 4. There will be lots more on Shaw TV, only on Shaw TV.